Hatzegopteryx has now got a TLC within Path of Titans, and it released today. This is everything you need to know about it, the full rundown of what's new, and all the new abilities, of course. I just want to say, it's an ability TLC, not a model rework. I don't believe there's anything new to the emotes, the model, even the baby. And the skins. The baby I'm going to skip over because there's nothing new with the baby, and we're going to jump straight into the abilities. Firstly, I'm just going to quickly go over the species just in case something has changed. So you've got Hatzegopteryx Fanbema, which is plus 10% health recovery, then Philadelphia, which is plus 10% status healing, and then you've got Gigantea, which is plus 3% attack damage. And I'm pretty sure those haven't really changed. That being said, let's showcase the adult Hatzegopteryx and showcase the abilities. Now, the big new thing with the Hatzegopteryx before we get into the Hatzegopteryx's ability set is the flight system. Now, this was something that was updated in the last update alongside the Rhamphoryhnchus TLC. However, now that this flyer's got a TLC, we can properly show it off. So this thing focuses more on gliding, and that's what it was said in the trailer. So you want to dive down and then glide. And essentially, you're able to just cut out as long as you can go until you can't anymore. But you're able to cover a lot more land and distance. With this, obviously, the bonus is if you're able to do a bigger dive down compared to what I done, because what I done wasn't really the most amazing dive. Obviously, the other things you want to find are updrafts. There's a good example of one of them near the teeth. But yeah, that is the flight update to Hatzegopteryx. So, the ability skill set with Hatzegopteryx. I'd like to say a lot has changed, but I'm not too sure how much has actually changed with this. I think Hatz, out of many of the TLCs that could have came out, was the least anticipated because, well, I don't think any of us expected this one to get a TLC. I feel like the writing was on the wall after Rhamph got a TLC, because why would Rhamph get a TLC? And then they spoke about Hatz a lot in the trailer, which kind of indicated that Hatz would probably be next. And here it is, lo and behold. Maybe that means Velocci is next. We can only pray. That being said, the ability skill set, this is what you get. For your passives, you get Glider, which uses less stamina while wings are fully spread in a glide. And then you get Strong Jaws, which is plus 12.5% increased bucking resistance. After that, an additional head passive is Clamp. You know Clamp, you're able to bite and hold on to smaller creatures to carry them around, holding on to the creature while slowly draining your stamina. After that, we go to our head. You've got Peck, which is a quick peck attack, which restores a small amount of stamina for every attack you inflict. It deals no damage to grounded targets while flying, which is fairly interesting. Now, do not muddle that last part up. While flying is the key indicator there. It's to stop you from essentially just hovering over people and pecking them to death. You have to use it on the ground if you want to deal damage. And it's the same if you're attacking flying creatures, you're still able to deal damage with it as well, because you're in the air and they're in the air. The common denominator with that is obviously that you're not in the air attacking someone on the ground. That being said, you've got Peck Barrage next, which is a quick attack that increases in power with every hit, can only be used while grounded. It gains increased knockback resistance while active. Now, for the sensors, you get 3 sensors. I'm pretty sure 2 of them are new. One of them, I think, Forceful Blows, is an old one. Forceful Blows, obviously, is increased knockback on your attacks. Then you have Corpse Stealer, which is the same as what Ceratosaurus has. You're allowed to passively track dinosaur carcasses within 250 meters. You also gain 25% increased eating speed while on the ground, gain 50% increased turning rate, and 25% slower hunger drain, and eating another player's corpse grants health recovery boost for 30 seconds. It activates only once every 5 minutes. Healing is reduced if bleeding. Works through combat timer. Then you have Flock Mob, which increases yours and all grounded flyers' attacks by 10% and armor by 10% within 50 meters. Stacks up to 2 times. Each grouped flyer in range will grant you a stack, which I think is pretty neat. Now, for your front limb, you get 2 slots, but you get 4 abilities. Now, I'm pretty sure these are all the ones that you previously could equip. That being said, you've got Flail, Barrel Roll, Wing Beat, and Stab. Stab is a high damage peck, can only be used while grounded. Deals normal and armor-piercing damage, counting as 2 hits. Now, I'm pretty sure, was Stab maybe in the head slot before? Or maybe I'm just proving how little I've played Hatz recently. You guys can correct me there. Wing Beat deals light damage, scaling with the distance, and heavy knockback to all dinosaurs in front of you. Now, the dazed effect, I believe, is new with this, because it can apply dazed, and it also deals less damage to carried dinosaurs. Any dinosaur in the water latched on or carried by yourself will not be affected, while airborne deals no damage or knockback to grounded dinosaurs. It's not usable in the water. You have barrel roll next, which is an area of effect attack in the air. Obviously, it deals damage to anything that you hit and knockbacks anything that you hit, while airborne deals no damage or knockback to grounded targets, and obviously it will not affect anything in the water. Flail. This is a thrash in a small area of effect using your wings. You pull dinosaurs towards you, which I think is very interesting, because in combat, because of the way damage works and momentum works in this game, it's highly likely when you collide with those flies, when you pull them towards you, you're probably going to end up worse for wear compared to the dinosaurs or the flies you're pulling in. Anyways, of course, ones in the water will not be affected by the same as latched or carried. Increases armor and makes you immune to impact damage while active. So there we go. That's fine. That's my ramble earlier, about 10 seconds ago. It has just been completely overshadowed because you are immune to impact damage while active. Obviously, the dinosaurs that you're pulling in will not be immune to impact damage, so that means they're just going to get absolutely mauled by this ability. That's really good. If it didn't have that immunity, it would have been a really bad ability to utilize. For your diet, you've got Hypercarnivore and Scavenger. Now for your hide, you have some new ones. I think Sky Shadow and Feathery Hide are the new ones. Preened Feathers, I think, is one that used to be in existence. This uses 35% less stamina when flying. Then you've got Sky Shadow, which gains 30% increased knockback resistance. You and all group members within 50 meters, if flying, will receive 25% less aerial-based area of effect damage and 50% less impact damage. You need to be in range of group members to receive the buff. After that, you've got Feathery Hide, which is a stack of Feathery Hide. Now, it goes up to 5 stacks, and that increases armor by 5% per stack. So if it's 5 stacks, you get 25% increased armor on a max stack. Pretty sure this is the exact same as what Struthio Mimus has. Now you get 2 abilities here for your legs. These are both new. You've got Aerial Mastery, which is while in the air, all aerial attacks take 20% less stamina and have reduced cooldowns by 25%. Then you have Crash Landing, which after landing increases jump height and reduces sprinting stamina cost by 50% for 10 seconds. Can only be triggered every 60 seconds. Now, as far as I'm aware, there are 3 new vocal abilities. I might be wrong. Death Croak, I'm pretty sure, is old. Strong Beak, I believe, might be old, but Rest Stop and Dazing Bellows are new. Let's start with the older ones first. Death Croak is a core that can be activated while grounded and within 50 meters of a player's corpse. Provides increased stamina recovery, 20% increased armor, and status healing by 50% for 45 seconds. After that, you've got Strong Beak, which reduces clamp cooldown and stamina cost by 50% for 60 seconds. After that, you've got Rest Stop, which regenerates 100% of your stamina over 15 seconds. If uninterrupted, jumping, sprinting, and flying consume no stamina for 5 seconds. Ability locks you in place and cannot be used in combat. Then you got Dazing Bellows, which increases wing beat damage by 100%. Your area of effect attacks now apply dazed for 120 seconds, and while a target is dazed, it has reduced movement speed by 5% and can't use active abilities. Targets can only be dazed every 40 seconds. So dazed combines well with, if we go over to the front limb, with wing beat and obviously barrel roll because it's area of effect, and flail as well, which is an area of effect. Now let's showcase all of the abilities off. So, the Hatzegopteryx TLC itself, the abilities, I've showcased all the animations. It's time for us to showcase the actual attacks. Now, of course, Hatz has not changed in its height. I've tried to get a dinosaur that I'm aware is quite close in combat weight. Hatz is 3,100 combat weight. Aloe is 3,500 combat weight. So do bear that in mind. The attacks may be a little bit less in terms of damage because Aloe has a bit more combat weight. Anyways, we're going to start off with the head attacks, which are the land attacks, and we're going to showcase all of the land attacks. So the first one, well, aside from Clamp, because you guys already know Clamp in a sense. This is just to see if any damage has been added or increased for these abilities. So the first one is the standard peck, and there you go. That's how much damage it is doing to an Aloe. It isn't a terrible ability. Now, do bear in mind, if I was in the air doing this, if I just get into the air, and I were to attack this Aloe again with the peck, you cannot do any damage to him. It just doesn't register at all. Now, I can attack a flying dinosaur with, or a flying creature with peck if it's in the air and I'm in the air as well, or if I'm on land and it's in the air. Now, another thing that is interesting that you want to bear in mind during this or with this ability, your stamina goes up. You get a stamina buff while you land attacks with this. As you can see at the bottom, it has gone up quite a bit. You get 4 seconds or 5 seconds of this buff, sorry, and it does help. If I just keep attacking it, that stamina will keep going up. And you could play it where you wait until the very end, attack again, and you're getting just maximum buff without killing the dinosaur. One more will probably kill it there, so I'll let that live. But as you can see, my stamina's gone up a lot faster compared to not having that enabled. Now, next is Peck Barrage. You get knockback resistance with this one, but in terms of the damage, it scales with every hit. And there you go, you can stack a little bit of damage there. It's got a 3-second or 4-second cooldown. That includes the animation time. So by the time you come out of the animation, it's pretty much ready. It's got like a 2-second cooldown left. And I'm not going to lie, if you're able to land everything, it's very good. But do bear in mind, in combat, when you're moving around, you're running around, you might miss things. You might just run past and land one or get stuck on them and they bite you and you're trying to get away while you're still doing the attack in certain ways. So, yeah, you may not hit every single hit. This is obviously if your target is just trying to face tank you or you've got its side and it's not really doing much. Now, the next one is Stab. Now, I believe this used to be a headshot ability. And there you go. It's got a 4-second cooldown. Now, this ability itself does also do normal and armor piercing damage, which is great against stronger dinosaurs. Armor piercing is really good for higher combat weight dinosaurs. So what you're seeing here is pretty much the standard damage that it will do across the board because it doesn't care about armor. Now the final one is Wing Beat, which is also usable on ground. This does knockback and you can absolutely launch a dinosaur. Now I believe there is an ability that increases your knockback on your attacks, which is Forceful Blows. So if we were to try that again and test out Forceful Blows, yeah, you can knock the dinosaur so much further. So here we are. This is without Forceful Blows on. Let's see how much knockback we get. It looks like it just goes to the bush or just before the bush. Now, the Aloe itself was about here before. So it's a very slight increase. It does say, what, 50%? Yeah, 50% increased attack knockback. So that doesn't really seem like 50%, but I guess, is it because Aloe's got a higher combat weight overall? One of the new sensors that you get is Corpse Stealer. Very reminiscent of the Ceratosaurus ability that we saw earlier this year, or was it last year? No, it was earlier this year, wasn't it? Where you could track player corpses. You can see it by the icon that is below on the screen, just above the abilities, and this will kind of guide you towards corpses. It'll tell you if you're getting closer or further away. Right now I'm getting further away. If I were to run over here, it will show that I'm getting closer and closer to the corpse. Now, this is obviously good, but it is only for player corpses. This does not work with spawn corpses. I'm pretty sure this does not work with AI critter corpses either. Speaking of which, where is the Aloe corpse? Where is it? Here it is. We ran past it. So as you can see, if you're blind like me, you probably miss it. But we can take the trophy and have a merry good old time. Now, the next ability to showcase is the Hide Feathery Hide. Now, this can stack up to 5 times. Each stack is 5% increased armor. With a full stack, it's 25%. It stacks while you are not in the air. It decays while you are in the air. So this is for grounded Hatzes mainly. Now, I'm going to attack him with the aloe, and we'll see where it's at and compare it. So this is while it is active. You can see the 5 there above the icons. So as you can see, that's armor coming off right there with every bite. You can see already it's doing so much more damage. So it will be 10 attacks until you are dead. On the 9th one, it gets to where we are at now with the full stacks already being diminished. That being said, if you didn't have the hide on at all, how many attacks would it take to kill you? Now that's what we're going to be testing now. So we remove it, we heal the hats, and we go again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4's already at halfway. You then get 5, 6, 7, 8, and it will be 9 that kills you, or maybe just about. I don't really want to test it. Okay, it's just about kills you, although there probably was like a couple seconds of healing there. So it will be once again the 10th hit that will kill you there. That's obviously on a full stack, and then you diminish over time. Now, it's potential that it could be 11 instead of 10 for with the hide on. Just depends if you wanted to try and kill the hats or not, but that is the difference there. So the next abilities to showcase are the flail, the barrel roll, and of course the peck. Now peck can be done in the air, but what we're showcasing first is flail, which can suck targets in towards you. Oh, well, that was the peck, and that's how much damage the peck does, so I done that wrong by a misclick. But this is flail. Obviously, it sucked the foul towards me, and then while it's here, I can peck it and do damage to it like that. And the peck can hit targets that are in the air, just not ones on the ground while you are flying above them. Once again, with this ability, sucks the foul towards you, does a bit of damage, can do some impact as well. The other attack to showcase is the barrel roll, so let's just go straight through. And that was hitting the foul, and that's how much damage it done. It wasn't too much. You then get a 10-second cooldown. I think impact damage plays a massive part in this ability and how good it is. So let's try again, shall we? So let's just go straight into the foul and see if we can knock it out the sky. There we go. That's a little bit more damage. And then there's some impact damage to follow up, but it does way more damage to me because of the momentum that I was carrying. So when you're going in like this, it's probably better that you do a flail to bring them towards you. And then you peck them, if I don't mess this up. And I miss again. And I miss again. But yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. You can probably do a barrel roll as well and knock them a bit more out the sky. That flail will be very good, especially since it doesn't do knockback or doesn't do impact damage. So I don't get hurt from it. Now I have no stamina, but yeah, you can see how it works there. That's probably a really bad example of how that works, but you can see how effective it can be, comboing that flail, bringing them in towards you, pecking them. The barrel roll is good as long as you're not carrying a mass amount of momentum. Otherwise, you're going to have more damage dealt to you than they will probably get dealt to it. Now, speaking of having no stamina, the next ability I want to showcase is Rest Stop, which allows you to regain your stamina. So let's really quickly enable it. So we're doing the animation now, and we can see the stamina going up. It's a lovely animation, by the way, for this ability. It's kind of just doing some stretches. Look at that big wing stretch, a little emote there. Like, you could turn that into an emote. And there you go. Once it's done, it's done. You have a 50-second cooldown. You then have full stamina from 0 right there, which is really, really good, which will allow you to be able to just absolutely abuse the stamina. Now, do bear in mind, obviously, with barrel roll and stuff, you can't damage people who are on land. It's the same with flail. While you do it in the air, you can't suck grounded targets towards you. Same as peck as well, which I think is very, very important. But those are the attacks I wanted to showcase and the abilities I wanted to showcase. If there was anything that I missed, I will be streaming Hatz tomorrow, and I'll be going over everything once again, doing some testing and showcasing some of the stuff if I missed any of the important things you guys want to see. That being said, what are your thoughts on these new abilities? Foul is pretty much just an ability TLC. We're going to wrap it up by showcasing the emotes and the skins just to see if anything's new. So let's do that really quickly. So in terms of the skins, there's really nothing new to showcase here, but let's showcase some stuff anyways. Let me just get them all to their default colorations so you guys don't get misconstrued with these patterns or the patterns from the colorations. So the standard default skin there, then you got the backer, which I was using earlier, then you have Lorikeet, which is a paid skin from, I think, the Rainforest skin pack, then you got Cape, which is another paid skin, Darter, Vulture, Hawk, Gilded, Moth, which I really like, one of my favourite skins, Sunburst, Banded, then you have Arakari, and then the Albino and Melanistic. So everybody, that was the Hatzegopteryx TLC. I'd love to know your thoughts about this one, because if I'm honest, nothing too much has changed in regarding to it, aside from obviously a handful of abilities, but I want to know from you guys who play Hatz, you Hatz mains, are you happy with this? Because the end-all be-all here is as long as the people who are playing the dinosaur, the flyer, are happy with it, and it's obviously a lot easier for people who are new to the flyer, an easier skill curve to get used to and play, then it's probably a success in terms of the ability TLC. But I'd love to know your thoughts, everybody. Let me know what you think about this TLC as a whole. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Now, when you come to this opinion, try not to factor in that it probably has gotten a TLC before your favourite playable, like Aloe or Alio or Stego or Foul. Just think of it as its TLC itself and then judge. I quite like it. I do like the aerial abilities, and I like that flail sucks people in but makes you immune to impact damage. If they didn't add that little tiny bit, it probably could have ruined the TLC itself. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll have a full update overview on Wednesday, going over everything we know. If you want to check out another video, check out this one where I overview an exclusive first look and upcoming Carcharodontosaurus mod. Anyways, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Peace.